responsibly.
Seeing into one's own nature and becoming Buddha.
Here you go. I've been researching this crap for a while. The FBI uncovered a sex trafficking ring in Boys Town, right outside of Omaha, Nebraska. I encourage you to watch the Franklin child prostitution ring allegation and cover-up in the Conspiracy of Silence documentary about pedophilia in the USA, in Boys Town, all the way to the steps of the White House. All covered up back in the 80s. Highly encouraged. You'll find out about Bohemian Grove and much, much more. All a conspiracy. Well, conspiracy no more. That was back in the late 80s and early 90s when Barney Franks was a senator. The FBI field director's name was run into the ground. He was forced out of the FBI and eventually suicided. Pizzagate is real. It isn't some conspiracy theory. It is real. It's always been real, and you can't convince me otherwise. If you think that the Wayfair stuff makes you sick, then just wait, because what you've been seeing is just a small piece of a huge puzzle. The rabbit hole goes deep. It runs real deep. People laughed at Pizzagate. They are not laughing anymore. Human trafficking is real. Human trafficking is one of the courses and classes you must take when you are fostering or adopting. It is at least 4 hours. Elite pedophilia is real. Organ harvesting is real. Adrenochrome harvesting is real. It is not a new phenomenon. It is an ancient art, but it has been really highly progressed in the age of the internet. It is not something that just started. It's been going on since antiquity. It is not something that is just going on in the US. It is happening all over the world.
If you can control about 3 or 4 key elements, you can totally own a state. You can make right wrong. You can make truth falsehood, falsehood truth. If you control the media, if you control the Justice Department, if you control the police, you own the system.
Haven't you noticed? Said, well, what is it? No, it's right under your nose. They're staring you in the face, but you don't see it. Like that.
I tell people, you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the devil? Well, these people do. It involves Hollywood. It involves politicians on both sides of the aisle. It involves the rich, people you look up to. They are the ones involved. Follow the stars, they have always told you. I'm not here to shake or rattle your world. I'm just here to shed some light and go from dark to light. No more turning a blind eye or turning the other cheek. And I get it. It's hard for you to wrap your head around what's truly going on. It's hard to imagine something so dark and disgusting going on right under your nose.
What is it? No, it's right under your nose. They're staring you in the face, but you don't see it. Like that.
And it's hard to imagine something so evil is happening to our children. It is easy to laugh it off as some conspiracy theory. Oh no, not my favorite actor, not my favorite singer, not my favorite politician. I know him so well. Oh no, it's not Hillary. She can't be involved. She was going to save us from Trump. The International Labor Organization estimates 40.3 million human trafficking victims globally. If you think it is still a hoax or don't want to come to terms with the fact that an elite pedophile ring exists, then ask yourself these questions. Everyone knew about Epstein and his love for underage girls. People were calling Little St. James Pedophile Island since Epstein purchased the island in 1998. With that knowledge, why did Bill Clinton and Obama visit Epstein's pedophile island multiple times? Why did the locals report seeing dozens of young kids being taken across there for several years? Why was Bill Gates a regular visitor there? Prince Andrew, do I need to say more? And why is the Queen going around threatening anyone to run the story on Prince Andrew if none of it's true? You mean to tell me that all these prominent men and women went to the pedophile island for one big party, for the surf and turf, knowing what they knew about him? It was not a secret. What was Epstein using the underground tunnels for? Why were they set fire to? There was a huge fire on the island. Look it up. Who was G. Maxwell? Do you know she owned a submarine company? Did you know she has her sub-pilot license? What could she possibly need a submarine pilot license for? Did you know that yachts with submarines were used to transport kidnapped children from Haiti to Epstein Pedo Island? What about Laura Silsby, the woman who was tied into Haiti for trying to sneak it up and kidnap 30 children to bring them to the U.S.? Clinton used an executive order to bring her back without being charged at all. The kicker? Guess who changed their legal name and is in charge of the Amber Alert? Laura Silsby. But let's not mention that. People who dig down that hole end up dying. Did you know that Tara Mar project was funded by Clinton Foundation and was located in the Linda Rothschild property up in Manhattan? Chelsea Clinton and G. Maxwell are reported to be very close and actually vacationed together. You mean to tell me that Chelsea didn't know about G. Maxwell? Remember when Chelsea's wedding was paid for with money that was supposedly to feed starving children, the Haitian children? Why did Hillary put G. Maxwell's nephew in charge of the key Middle East policy decisions when she ran the State Department? You know, the one overseeing the U.S.-Libya policy that got an ambassador killed. What about the Podesta emails? What was up with John and that Tony Podesta's artwork, by the way? Would you own any of that creepy art? Why would Obama buy $65,000 worth of taxpayers' money to have hot dogs flown in from Chicago for a private party? Did you know that hot dog is a FBI code word for young boys? Who is James Alefantis? A pizza restaurant owner in D.C. who happens to be named one of the most powerful people in D.C. A pizza place? A man that owns a children's pizza place. A man that has close ties with the Clintons, Obamas, Epstein, and many, many, many more. Have you seen his Instagram? Oh, you probably haven't. You're just now looking into everything, aren't you? Have you looked up the art that is in his pizza place? You want your kids seeing this stuff? What about the dark web login to get into his other site and order pizza that cost thousands of dollars? Oh wait, that was taken down. What is a pizza place owner doing communicating with the White House? What about the Hollywood actor that walked into the Comet Pizza and shot a locked closet door? And they blamed it on some right-wing conspiracist, but it was the same closet door that houses his computer, which ended up with a bullet through the hard drive. Odd. What about Anthony Weiner? All the emails found on his laptop. You mean to tell me that his wife, Huma Abedin, had no knowledge of what was going on? Huma and her friend, Hillary Clinton, had no clue about this 15-year-old girl. What about the folder named Life Insurance? You know, the one that housed the now famous video titled Frazzle Drip with Huma and Hillary. You want nightmares? Read about those videos. You don't need to watch them. The same Huma and Hillary who 9 separate NYPD officers have committed suicide after watching a horrific video of them doing unspeakable things to a little girl. The same NYPD who threw up because what he saw was so horrific. Speaking of suicide, why have 57 former colleagues and associates ended up dead in the past 30 years? 15 have died of suicide, 8 died in a plane, a car, a motorcycle accident, and 14 have been found mysteriously murdered. All of these people have had info that could have potentially hurt the Clintons' careers. I don't even have 57 friends, let alone 57 people I need to add to a hit list. Why is James Comey's daughter the lead prosecutor on the Epstein sex trafficking case? Former CEO of Reddit, Ellen Pao, admitted they knew Ghislaine Maxwell supplied underage girls for Epstein and his pedo buddies. The Norwegian royal family implicated in Epstein scandal. Why? Not surprising considering Prince Andrew. What about Oprah's mentor, John of God, and Weinstein? You mean to tell me Oprah didn't know? Come on now. Now we're really getting into some conspiracies. They didn't know. Have you ever heard of the NXIVM case? They were just running a sex cult where the Smallville actress Allison Mack was arrested and indicted on federal charges related to sex trafficking. The McMartin Preschool, the Franklin cover-up, Seth Rich, Isaac Cappy, Boys Town, The Finders. The list goes on and on and on and on. Dinesh Harist, do you know him? You should. Good buddies with Podesta. Robert Mendez, Mike Fulmer, prominent Democratic donor. Terry Bean, David Byrd, George Byrd, all known prominent pedophiles. Why don't we hear more about Biden's island, the chunk of land that he owned, very close, just 9 miles, from Epstein's pedo island? The Podesta brothers were known suspects years ago when little Mandolin McCain was stolen from her parents' hotel while on vacation. Whatever happened to her, Mandolin McCain? This doesn't even cover a quarter of what is going on. There is so much more than Epstein, and there's so much more than Ghislaine Maxwell. This runs deep, and you're going to be shocked at the ending. The choice to know, in the end, will be yours. I'm not interested in hypotheticals, rumors, or factless connections. We connect the dots here. Everything, and I mean everything, ties together. Everything is connected. So while others are more concerned about the COVID and yelling at your neighbor about a mask, I'm more concerned about saving our children. Hashtag save the children. Why has Hollywood been so quiet on that? Aren't you upset about that? Pass this video on, share it on all social media platforms if you believe in just one iota of anything in this video that I have mentioned. Do your research, connect your own dots. Don't take anything I say here to be 100% fact or truth. We bring it, but it's up to you to connect your own dots, come to your own conclusions based off all of your own research. We just point you in the way. Again, I am Michael. This is the Patriot Hour. God bless, Godspeed to each and every one of you. And where we go one, we go all.
But unfortunately, ideas like the ultimate ground of being